one. So in today's lessons we are going to learn, or we are going to write a program that open a files, read it content and print this content to the console. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to create one file. So the file name is called read file, or we can say read file content. Okay, and .py. Fine. So this is our program. So let's do one by one. So how we can do that? So if we have already some, I think for reading files, we do not have to explicitly import some extra library or packages. Okay, so Python had some inbuilt method as well already available. Okay, so let's suppose that called file. This is called variables, and then after I'm going to call open. So open is one functions that will enable to read the file. You can see in the all file descriptions are under all the details. So I'm going to write here like input file dot txt. Okay, and you do not have to explicitly mention here which mode you have to open, because by default the file open or maybe open function has reading mode is by default enabled. Okay, so now I'm going to understand how to write the code. Okay, so with a simple approach you can see just how you can do. You can do like that, file content. So let me explain something. Okay, so after writing this line, so this you can see this is file object. Okay, and here we are going to read the content from the file and store to this variable. Okay, so how we can do that? File object and then call read. Okay, so as you can see all these predefined methods are available and pop up here. Okay, so just click on that and this one, and after this simply you can print it. Okay, so file content. Okay, so this is our one. So also if you want to make more formatted, so you can write open the file in read mode. So by default it is read mode, and here read the entire content of the file. Okay, and in third step display the content on the screen. Okay, fine. So let's run this. Yeah, input file is that input file does not exist already there, but as first I will going to run this program, then I will create this file content. Okay, so that you will get to know how everything is working or not. So sometime by mistake you can do that. Okay, so read file content, right? Okay, so you can see we are getting such error. Okay, so no such file directory exists. Okay, no file or such directory, right? Something like that. So there is many method we can also handle this type of error. You can write your own custom message. Okay, so let's try to solve and write more optimized code one by one. Okay, so our first step should be, so that we do not get this one, so we have to create this file. Okay, because this file does not exist, and where it's checking by default in the current directory where this file is located. Okay, so these file locations you can see desktop, Python's program on a read content. So here the file input file .txt also should exist in this folder if you want to only add the file name, but also you can redirect or we can paste your complete file path if your file is available or located at some other different places other than your current repository or Python script file are available. Okay, so you can also write a complete file like something like that desktop if your the file script and the input file are available at different places. In that case, you have to write it here complete path of the file. Okay, fine. So we are getting this error, so I'm going to create this file first in same location .txt. Okay, right. So let me first see some content. Okay, I'm going to write some content. I'm going to checking. Okay, so I have written some content. Let me paste it here. Okay, so this is our file content. Well, I'm just written about our company services. Okay, so what we are doing, so expert tutoring, diverse services, collaborate and learning, all the things are there. Fine. So clear it again. Okay, and then run it. Okay, so you can see we are getting all content. Okay, so you can see that we haven't done anything, right? Just we have called this file method. Okay, also there is good practice whenever we are opening the file. Okay, so at the end we have to close the file. Close the file object. Okay, and how we can do that? Similarly, as you open method, one method is available. So if you are using some this type of editor, so it easier to, we will get some type of hint like that. Okay, then close this one. And why is needed? Again, you can see here everything is fine, there is no any issue, right? But if we are writing some code, this code exists in some large project. Okay, so or maybe if even your system is more dependent on the system or more dependent on the some code, so there might be some situations where you are not able to get this content. Okay, or maybe some unexceptional handling type of error you might get. So, okay, so that's why we try to avoid unwanted error to get, right? So that's why we are using this one. So we are going to call again, there won't be anything issue, but here we are uh, you know more smoothly, or we can say we are in the, if we are not writing this one, so forcefully it's closing. Okay, but if you are writing close, so it may be, it will close with normal operator, normal operations. Okay, so this one again, if you want to do everything, so if you want to exclude, if you do not want to, so there is also good practice. So sometimes people forget to write this close. Okay, so resolve this. There is one method, not method, one keyword that is called with. Okay, inside with, just like that. Okay, and then call everything. Okay, just let's make a tab, make consistent spaces, else you will get error. Okay, so this and now this is not required. Okay, okay, so also we have to complete this one. So you can write here file as fine. Okay, so you can see we are getting everything. So this is automatically handled. So if you know Java concepts, in Java there is some type of garbage collection. So similarly there is this with will handle all the file closing and rest of the things like once your file operation is done. Okay, it will automatically do the rest of the work, like closing the, clearing the memories. Okay, clearing the caches, something like that. Okay, again you can see most of the time you might have seen people are not using this way. Okay, sometimes what they are doing, instead of writing separate line, they are writing like that. Okay, so as, okay, so there is one approach as well. So now in that case you have to comment this one. Again you will not get error, but every two time it will be overwritten, right? Overridden. So let me close this one, not close, I'm just going to comment this one, and let's run it again. So everything should fine, right? Everything is fine as it is. Fine. So this one, okay, So one more approach here was we have done the closing with the help of why the what is use of with, it will handle rest of the unexceptional handling there, or file closing, some others related operation this will handle, like clearing the cache, closing the files, and some there is others memory system level work they will do automatically. Okay, so one more thing I was explaining that if suppose this file does not exist, suppose I am writing this one, right? Or okay, let first me show you some other things. Okay, so suppose we want to perform something like once your file operation is done, right, whatever the content you have printed, so after that you want to print some custom message, or maybe more code you have written after that, right? So maybe file reading is successful, something like that. Okay, so what will happen in this case? I don't think I have written anything, but let what I'm trying to explain, let me first show you. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so we are getting this one, right? So there is no extra thing, just we are reading everything and then doing. But in case suppose if this file does not exist, okay, because this file does not exist here, so what will happen? Okay, what do you think, what it should be? Okay, first see the result here. Okay, so you can see the file does not exist, no such file exists, right? So again you can see we are not able to see this message. Why? Because this line of code, this one is independent from this one. Why we are not executing this line of code? It should be executed. It might be some scenario where there is 100 line of code, right, and only 5 line of code was for reading the file operations, right, and rest of the other 95 line of code are doing some extra work, right? So but if we are getting such error in here in first initial line of code, that reflect the rest of the part. Okay, so it means after this your program will terminated. Okay, so you will not able to perform the rest of the operation, right? So it might be happen, suppose you are written some large program, and that program there might be 100 operation they are doing. Okay, but by mistake one operation or file does not exist, something is happening, and instead of rest of the operation will also affected. Okay, so I don't think it's a good practice, right? So this is part of tightly coupled, loosely coupled, the term, something like that. So but our program should be handled properly. So what is use of that? Then you have to call try catch. Okay, so there is the use of try and catch. So what will do, try and catch handle everything, they will display your custom message. Okay, so this is, so how we can do that? So let's properly align this one. Okay, and after that try, and then it called except, and as you can see. Okay, so see, you can write some, I think general exception. Okay, exceptions, right, as okay, so this is important. So I think should be there, I think object should be created as okay, this is exception class, and then here you can write your own custom message. Okay, so how you can see the file. Okay, so maybe so that you can see every time you have to type this file name if you want to see what your exact output. So in that case you can write the file name or file path are different variables you can store, so that it will be easier to call at multiple time, not multiple places, not multiple time. Obviously you can do that, but that is not great thing. But using multiple places, that is use of variable, right? So directly you can access from anywhere. So now the file, whatever the file path it will be, you can see file path does not exit. Why you are getting this type of error? Okay, so because we are using single quote, so that's why we cannot use single quote, so you have to do like that. Okay, so we are going to use, because this is our part of a string, this is not part of where the string is opening or closing, right? So this should be separated like that. Okay, and then again you have to call f formatted string, else this will not treated as expression or variables, right? So now everything we should get the properly handled. So now again, what was our file name? Okay, let's remove this. Yeah, that is fine. I think that was not an issue because error was calling. Okay, so now we will get this error, right? This message, because this file does not exist, and also you will able to print rest of the code. Okay, so that is good part about handling the error. It does not mean your program should be terminated, right? Your code should be properly handled. Okay, so you can see the file does not exist, also able to write, able to print this message. Obviously this is not correct one, but I'm just this you can print some extra messages, right? I'm not saying file reading is successful, obviously, because we are not able to read this file because there is some error, this error, but also this message should not be printed. But I'm just if instead of here you want to write something, okay, or if you want to do here this, if you want to do here, okay, let's, yeah, so file reading up should be completed here, right, after this, and here it should be thank you for some thank you or closing message, thank you for your time, okay, something like that. So it might be general or any message you can print, right? So again, now everything fine, right? Thank you for your time, everything closed because we are not able to read successfully. So this one, the part like if we do not handle the errors, so your program will be terminated, but that is not good practice, right? So suppose you are using some ATM machine, okay, by mistake we have enter, suppose your 10,000 balance is available in your account, by default you will return the 20,000, right? In that case your ATM should not be shut down, right? Your ATM should display some message, right? Please enter some valid number, or there is no sufficient balance, like that. Okay, so this is the case here. So this is meaning of handling the error in programming languages, and how we can do that with the help of try catch. So one more thing here we can do that. Okay, so suppose, see, this exception handling every type of error, sometime it could be their file does not exist, right? So some error might be related to this file, and some error it might be related to system. Suppose there is not enough memory in your system, or somehow there is some library is not installing. Okay, it's a system level error, right? Not related to this file. So how you can do that? So in that case you have to handle multiple exceptions. Okay, so how we can do multiple exception? Just we have to call. So just we are categorically doing like which exception we are getting. Okay, so if you are calling general, so every exception will be handled there. But if you want to specify some exception, like suppose file not found error, right? Because we want to make sure the file exists or not. Okay, so this would be error. Okay, and rest of the thing you can write it here. Any other messages you can print. Error and error occurred. We are calling something like that, and str and then like this. So what we are doing basically, we do not know what type of error we are getting. Okay, so rest of the error will be handled with inside this exception class. Okay, this will handle everything. Okay, and so this is the object, and then this object we are converting to str. Str means we are going to call some method that will convert all the messages into, means the error messages to a string. That one, if we do not write str, so we'll get some object type of error. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, so you can see the file does not exist, we are not getting this error. Somehow there might be exceptional handling, a system RAM is not available, so you might get error. It will handle here. Okay, so general message will be handled. We are maintaining, like there might be error. Okay, after this is one error, but it could be more error, right? So other than the file handling, reading the file, if suppose file is already exist, but again you can get error, right? So system IO, your system operation not in a memory, or anything could be, right? So in that case it will goes here. So, but we are here we are making sure that our file exists, our file is already exists, so that is not an issue. Now we have to focus on rest of the error, not on file handling error. Okay, file handling means file is already exists, but still we are getting error, so this is not error of file available or not. Okay, so let's run it again. Okay, so now you can see everything is working properly, right? So file reading is successful. Thank you for your time. Okay, or may thank you for visiting us. Any message you could print it out. Okay, so this is the things for this video. I hope you got or get some more insightful information and you understand how the whole thing is working. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Let's meet in another one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching.